Hello everyone and welcome back to the 343 Football Podcast. My name is Jaffa and I'm once again joined by Ali.
Hi.
Daud.
Hello.
And Qudama.
Hello.
How's everyone doing this week, lads?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. To be honest, missing Newcastle because the club action came back after our Maradona special last week and still haven't seen my team thanks to the COVID outbreak. Training ground is finally back open, so let's see. Hopefully they can get their preparations in for the West Brom match. But yeah, aside from that, I'm doing okay.
Is that not a good thing? You know, a week off from Bruce Ball.
Nah, I'll tell you what.
It's just Newcastle.
It's
We've just come out of lockdown and then Newcastle go on a shutdown.
It's to be honest, it's the nature of a football fan. As much as I hate watching the games, as soon as you tell me that I can't watch my team play, I want it again. And even when the match is coming up, I still want to watch it. It's a bit like that.
Well, I got to watch my team play, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, okay, Ali.
we will round up
Nobody
the scores
cares.
for you.
Well, you got to watch yours.
Yeah, I did.
In
It
the
was
Premier
a
League,
quite a nice win as well.
the top six is taking some similar shape, apart from Arsenal languishing down at the bottom, which we'll get into later. But Chelsea won, Liverpool won, Manchester City and Manchester United won, as well as Tottenham. So you're talking about, as much as the frenetic start of the season always brings up these weird places like Southampton were on top for a bit. I think it's a bit more normality to the table already. We will get back into the English football discussion, but I thought we'd just start off by a quick mention of how Barcelona lost 2-1 to Cadiz, and Barcelona at the moment are just 3 points off of the relegation zone. How bizarre does that sound?
Yeah, it's a weird time in Barcelona because it's a club that's been surrounded in a lot of negativity recently. And even though they're doing really badly in the league, there's almost a sense of positivity around the club compared to where they were last season, even though their league position doesn't really warrant it. They're doing well in the Champions League, top of their group, I think. And if they beat Juventus, they win it. And I think people are happy with the progress they're seeing under Koeman, but at the same time, they are worried with where they are.
I kind of disagree with the sense of positivity. I read that this was their worst league start to a season ever.
It was, but at the same time, I think given that Koeman's new, you're not starting to see the media hound him or the fans turn against him already. I feel like what they're seeing in terms of the changes with the way they're playing are more throwback to where the fans want to see them play rather than that lethargic football they saw with Seti and Valverde. So I think, yeah, they're unhappy. Of course, a club like Barcelona will be, but I feel like at the same time there's signs of progress there.
So they're happy that the results on there, but you think the way that they're playing, it's going the right direction.
For now, but a club like Barcelona, that will only, take you so far.
Man,
don't get me wrong, they're not happy about it. But
he's so lucky, Koeman, because a lot of managers don't get afforded that. They don't get afforded that. And no results are coming through, but we're playing all right football.
No, but they're doing well in the Champions League. That's my point. It's a weird, it's a juxtaposition, I guess, between their league form and their Champions League.
Some teams are like that. It's happened before. Chelsea and Liverpool. They weren't doing well in the league. Somehow they win the Champions League. Could this be Barca's year? Probably not, but who cares?
But I think there's always a distinction to be made between Champions League group stage performance versus knockouts. And I think Barcelona, being so comfortable in the group stage, is nothing new to them, and it's nothing to placate the fans. Yes, I agree that Koeman there's no toxicity around him yet.
Yeah.
But I think especially with that massive cloud of Messi still being unhappy and clearly wanting to leave and his body language under question, I can't imagine that there's any satisfaction whatsoever for Barcelona fans at the moment, really.
I thought it was toxicity straight away because of how he put his foot down with how Messi, if he didn't want to be at the club, he wouldn't play, and all that hoo-ha around it. I mean, some of the lineup formation, the lineups he's got out, have been very questionable as well. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, Martin Brathwaite is a rejuvenated player.
They were looking really good.
If that's anything.
They were looking really good again up until that game against Cadiz. Braithwaite was looking like he was finally finding a spot in the team. Griezmann as well, but Cadiz did beat Real Madrid as well, so they're not they're not just relegation fodder, are they?
They're in fifth place at the moment, and they've mastered the art of the low possession and still winning games, which
smash and grab.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So the Steve Bruce effect, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Steve Bruce in fifth. If that happens, then I'll revisit that discussion.
No, but the smash and grab, that's what I mean.
Steve Bruce is definitely... But Steve Bruce is the master of the smash and grab one week and then looking like the worst team in the universe the next week.
I don't know, but Madrid to Barca, they just got arse up and side to side. That's all that matters, really.
It's a weird year for La Liga, isn't it? The two biggest clubs are not performing half as good as they should be, especially with the teams they've got.
Yeah,
Actually, I think Cadiz beat Bilbao as well. We were talking about the so-called
yeah.
3 teams which haven't been relegated. Credit to them.
No,
Yeah, credit
definitely.
to them,
It'll be interesting
100%.
to see where they end up and how Barcelona bounce back, especially with the game against Juventus tonight.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting to watch. Now, just a quick word in Germany, where Leipzig and Bayern played out a fantastic 3-3 draw over the weekend. Currently, the table reads as 10 games played, and you've got Bayern top on 23 points, Leverkusen second on 22, Leipzig third on 21, and then Dortmund fourth on 19. And that does seem like a typical Bundesliga top 4 at this stage, but is anyone thinking that Leipzig, as unfashionable as and unpopular as they are for obvious reasons, can they actually win the league, or is Bayern... there's no point in even talking about Bayern not winning it.
Bayern's too strong.
Bayern's too strong, but eventually they'll fall off. It always happens.
But the way the Leipzig was playing, it was amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you cut it at 75 minutes, Leipzig were amazing. But then I think if the game went on any further, Bayern were like just chipping away at that high press, high energetic way that Leipzig play football. It just tires you out, and by the time you're 80, 90 minutes, you're gonna end up leaking a goal or two, and I think that's the difference. Whereas Bayern were very calculated in the way that they did it. 3-3. I think it was a fair score. Both teams played great.
Yeah.
I think Bayern is probably the worst team to be playing right now to keep elite against them. They've just got a certain mentality about them. Never say die. And I think like that game, as good as Leipzig were and as class as they played, if that game went on for an extra 30 minutes, that Bayern definitely would have got the winner. Because honestly, I watched a bit of the game and then went back and watched the extended highlights. And I don't know, man, that team just doesn't panic when they go down. They went down twice in that game and came back within minutes. So, credit to them. I think they'll be the last team in that monopoly of league winners, Juventus, PSG, and Bayern to lose their crown.
Yeah. I mean, there is one thing I've noticed about Bayern, though, and I think it'll kind of come to mind when you see the later stages of the Champions League. I feel like they're very vulnerable defensively, aren't they? They've got the whole high line thing, and last year when they played Lyon had a number of chances before Bayern eventually got through, and I think that possibly, sustaining world-class form is really difficult, and I think Bayern's defensive frailties may come to show in the Champions League knockouts. If they meet a side as potent as a Liverpool, for example, you could see that happen, or even a Manchester City, if they get their act together in an attacking sense, when the knockout stage comes around. So for Leipzig, and as you guys, I agree with you that I don't think that Bayern's title is really under threat, but in terms of their long-term, maybe it's their defensive frailties that they showed in that 3-3 draw could come back to bite them.
Yeah,
I hope so, man. I like seeing different league winners, and
yeah,
I hope there's a change in Europe.
I do as well. Spices up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and then just to touch base back in England, this is a match that I watched with keen interest. It was the North London derby. The very experienced and shrewd Jose Mourinho against the relatively inexperienced Mikel Arteta. And to see Mourinho walk out 2-0 winner, and I feel like the game panned out exactly as he would have wanted. It's no surprise to anyone, isn't it, that the tactical masterclass of Mourinho outshone the, you'd say youthful energy, but relative inexperience of Arteta in the end.
Yeah, well, what did Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola have in common? They both lost against Mourinho. They call this guy a dinosaur. How's he a dinosaur when he's doing amazing with a Tottenham side? This is Tottenham Hotspur we're talking about. We're not talking about Manchester United or Liverpool or Arsenal, which will then be the third greatest team in England. We're talking about fucking Tottenham Hotspur. You know what I mean?
No, he's doing a great job. What did you make of the game? Did you feel like Arteta was a bit out of his mind to praise his team?
What I found a bit interesting about this one is that Arteta has been cultivating a style of patience and possession and safety
football,
and
yes.
safety first in recent weeks. So Arsenal haven't been a front foot creative side. Now all of a sudden they come to White Hart Lane, or the Tottenham Spurs Stadium, whatever it's called, and now they decide to kind of shift focus. They want to take the initiative. They want to drive at Tottenham, and they want to attack. This is by the way, just to let you guys know, Arsenal have created the least chances in the league, which is almost like, if you imagine Wenger's Arsenal for a second, you would never hear that stat about that team. Impossible. So I found their approach really odd in the sense that you know what Mourinho's like. Why don't you kind of try and give them a bit of the ball and see if the game can kind of be played in the middle a bit, instead of just attacking them and exposing yourself on the counter?
I was thinking, did Arteta make his players have the ball, or did Mourinho just let them? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think Arteta should have been doing what he did last season and actually played Mourinho ball, which he did. For the games against Liverpool where he won 2-0, there was only
2-1, get it right.
No. Away 2-0. 3. So 3 shots. Was it 2-1?
No, it's 2-1 definitely.
Okay.
I remember Mane
So
scored the first goal.
They only had 3 shots on at Liverpool's goal, but they faced 24 shots and had 31 possession. Man City, they were winning 2-0. Four shots altogether and 16 shots faced, and only had 29% possession. If you're not telling me that's Mourinho parked the bus mode, where he got those results and grinded them out, I don't know why he didn't do the same against Tottenham, where he actually played a bit more dangerous. And I disagree with what you're saying, Jaff, about safety first, and they've been, since under Arteta, they've been trying to play out from the back. I would say more successfully than unsuccessfully, and I would definitely say more unsuccessfully against the bigger teams. They've been very suspect against the bigger teams on a higher press that know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? They know what they're pressing. They know what kind of ball that they're going to play next, because it's all been thought out. There's only so many triangles, like Mourinho says. Arteta was trying to play with triangles at the back on his wings, and it didn't work. I don't know if you saw Bellerin. He was out of his position all
Dog
game.
shite.
Yeah, he was shit.
Terrible,
He was shit.
man.
And
Five throws. Jeez.
the Arsenal fans have every right to be angry at him. And to be honest with you, I was watching the game and I was thinking, flipping hell, like I would not want to see my fullbacks being out of position like that. But I have a feeling that was part of Arteta's plan, part of the triangles that they're trying to do in terms of how they distribute the ball from the back and trying to progress forward with possession, a bit more articulate, into a bit more articulate what he wants to do in terms of how his philosophy is.
I don't think that's how he wants to play at all. You have to look at where Arteta learned, who he assisted, and where he really learned his trade as a coach.
And Pep was all about triangles.
He was, but I'm saying, I'm going back to what you're saying about him. Why didn't he play like Mourinho? Why doesn't he sit back? Why doesn't he play to his strength? Yeah, he probably did that at the start of his tenure at Arsenal. But if you asked him, is that how you want to play going forward? He'll tell you absolutely no, because it's just not within, I don't want to say his DNA, but it's just not what he's planning to do. You can tell he comes from that school of football that plays beautiful possession football, and he doesn't want to play like Mourinho. He wants to do his own thing and break away from Guardiola, but also in a unique way.
But the thing is, it's not just that. He came from an Arsene Wenger side as well. That's a team which he's captain to FA Cups and multiple FA Cups. That's how he was brought at the end of his 10 years as a player, just to play nice, beautiful, attractive football.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
No,
but
that's what I'm saying.
It's just not working.
Exactly.
The players which he's got, shite. They've got no heart. Whereas Aubameyang signed his contract, he's probably chilling Mesut Ozil right now, playing some Fortnite. I don't know, man, but
yeah, he looks like a shadow of his former self just a few months ago. I don't really understand it, to be honest.
I mean, two of the highest paid players in the Premier League not playing. Do you know what I mean?
Aubameyang is playing. He's just not playing well.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, but considering
what you mentioned before about you disagree with me when I said about Arteta's safety first, I can't even agree with your disagreement of my point, because it feels like Arsenal almost exist in a contradiction at the moment, because they love playing it out from the back, which has an inherent risk, but at the same time they don't do anything creativity wise. They don't seem to be creating overloads in the manner that you see with Manchester City and Liverpool and Bayern. They don't seem to be trying to cut through people on a counter attack. Aubameyang has gone from one of the deadliest strikers to the most invisible, on a combination of maybe his lack of effort and also a lack of chances created for him.
Yeah.
So I feel like when I'm watching Arteta, I think that his inexperience is showing right now. When a manager is good or bad, but that can happen. But one thing that you can always separate between an experienced manager and an inexperienced manager, the experienced manager always knows what he wants to do. His ideas are always solid, and he gets that across to his players. Arteta right now is still trying to figure things out, and I think it's coming at a cost to Arsenal's domestic season at least. If they actually salvage anything out of the season, I'd be very impressed.
But you see, he's actually outweighted the big teams last season, and he did work very well. Considering, overall he wasn't doing that well in terms of just the general plethora of games that were coming through. But in certain matches against the big teams, against obviously Man United, where they won, Chelsea as well, 2-1.
What are you on about? That game was dead. That Man United game was dead.
It's dead, but it's winning.
Yeah.
One of penalties, the only probably Aubameyang scored. Are you joking me, bro? Don't paper over the cracks, man. That's taking a piss.
Okay. So this is the
Man United shite, Arsenal shite. Doesn't really matter.
This is the argument about Coleman. So Coleman
look,
is playing good
nobody
football,
cares
but
about
the results aren't coming in at the time. And you could imagine that he would be under a lot more pressure against if they lost against one of their rivals or one of their rivals that you would consider for the top two places of the league. He would be under a lot more pressure. Whereas Arteta is a bit hot and cold in terms of he's actually winning more matches against the top six than he is against the rest of the.
Okay. In the top six, who's he beaten this season?
Well, okay, this
No. This season, you tell me who
this season he's not doing
has
very
he
well.
beaten Liverpool? No, has he been
No,
Liverpool?
so this
To be fair,
season he's
you-
not doing
you
very well.
can't
This is what I'm
count,
saying.
Okay,
He's
no,
changed a lot
Ali,
of what he's
Ali,
saying.
look, his point still is a fair one because you can't just discard last season, given we're only 10 games into
But
this
my
season.
point here is, didn't Unai Emery have this like beautiful honeymoon period of 20
did,
games
yeah.
went
Yeah,
he
undefeated,
did.
20
and
games.
bam,
No, but
like
there is one difference between Emery and Arteta though, is that Emery's an experienced manager, so you've got a whole catalogue of seasons to judge him on, whereas this was Arteta's first exposure to us. So
Yeah.
when you look at last season, you look at what Arteta was doing. Now we're trying to understand who this manager is. So you're seeing a contrast in his fortunes, but or we're seeing a contrast in his approaches. I don't think we are, to be honest, and I think Dowd's right. He's a couple of his setups last season surprised the bigger teams, and he got an FA Cup out of it. So now is this just maybe a rough patch, and is faith with Arteta the way forward, or should they start questioning his position as Arsenal manager?
no, as a manager, he's going to be great, but he was a coach first. You know what I mean? He was out putting cones out. That's what he was
So what
doing.
do you mean by he's going to be great? Like, what, give him
Like,
more time?
He'll need time, yeah, but he needs the right players as
What
well.
about if he needs time and ultimately they,
Like
become
I'm
17th
not
and get
saying to
relegated?
sack the guy, but like if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be pretty pissed. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you be pissed?
So are you
Well,
saying,
you're a Manchester United
let's
fan,
do-
so it doesn't
let's-
really matter.
So let's.
So-
Are you saying that maybe it could be a Sir Alex Ferguson type of thing first season,
Nah.
Look,
possibly
no,
getting relegated?
No.
That era's long gone.
Look,
We
yeah.
all know that.
No, so
That-
this
that
is the
era's
thing.
gone.
How far? Because he's 14th or 15th. Do you know what I mean? Like, how far can you go?
Yeah, but
I
look
think
how
it's
tight
still-
the league is right now.
It's
Does
still
it?
a bit early.
It is a bit early, yeah.
I think-
I'm trying to just be devil's
With
advocate. Yeah.
Arteta, I think the Arsenal board see potential, and they see that he managed to for the first few months he was at the club as well. That toxicity that was cultivated at the club, with, Arsenal fan TV becoming a meme, the club in its official quote unquote banter era. He did manage to quell it at first. Like a lot of the fans got behind him, and the club looked like it was on the up, especially with the results coming in. So I think the owners won't discard that at all. Until maybe European qualification isn't mathematically possible, I doubt they'll get rid of him. Especially with the dearth of options out there. Like who really would come in and fill his shoes straight away, or even do a better job straight away?
feel
No,
like
there
all
are
of-
coaches there, but would they want to come to Arsenal? Like that's like what England was like a couple of years
I
ago.
think Arsenal's
Why
different to
not?
a club like
If
Newcastle
Ozil can get a
when Rafa left.
350k a week,
No,
Yeah.
I'm
contract,
talking.
they could.
No, but I'm talking about right. Thomas Tuchel might get sacked. We don't know what's going on with PSG. Can he come to Arsenal, or can someone like the Allegri, the former
do
Juve
think-
coach?
I think
That's what I'm
they
trying to
can,
say. But
because the pull of Arsenal, the legendary status within the Premier League and their financial backing, it's not a similar situation to where Rafa left Newcastle and it's like, well, no one as good as him is ever going to take that position. Whereas
Yeah.
Arsenal, they won an FA Cup literally last season. They're not exactly a small club.
no, but I don't say it's disrespect. Arsenal, not Newcastle.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Though. That's my
but
point.
I don't think Allegri or Thomas Tuchel would actually go at Arsenal. Like, ooh, do I want to be in that position? No.
If
I
the wage
disagree.
if the wage packet is
disagree.
good enough and the contract's long enough, yeah, I mean,
Stan Kroenke is tight, man.
he's tight. I mean,
You know
He's
what I
tight,
mean?
but he's got
I
two
mean,
of the highest paid.
two highest
players,
paid, yeah.
All these discussions about the potential managers for Arsenal, and I just wanted to kind of go back to a point you mentioned before about you think Arteta will be great in the
Yeah,
future.
eventually, yeah, I think
Because
he will be.
there's a distinction between Arteta the manager and Arteta the coach, isn't there? Managerial skills come with
Experience and
it's,
time.
it's not just your tactical setup. Like, I don't know if you guys spotted in the second goal when Partey was injured and you wanted to come off the pitch and he was walking off,
Yeah.
and Arteta pushed him back on. He literally physically forced him back onto the field to try and defend the counter attack.
Yeah.
I just feel like in that moment, and Partey pulled up after like maybe 2 jogs. Like he couldn't even kind
Yeah,
of
it
make,
was baffling, right? Do you know what it
Yeah.
reminded me of? Sorry. Do you know when you're playing FM and you have like a massive game coming up and your star players like got that orange injury next to him and you
Yes.
play him anyway and you think what could go wrong, and immediately like as soon as you skip to the first highlight it's like, oh, he's injured. It was honestly unbelievable to watch. The guy's walking off, which to be fair I don't see why he was walking off as an injured player. Like shouldn't you just go
be
down,
down
and
on
wait
the
for
floor
treatment?
when
Yeah.
the ball is in play.
So I think there was fault on both sides there. But now that he is walking off, it's a completely different situation. Arteta needs to look at that and like, mate, like I'm injured. Why are you pushing your player back onto the pitch?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll give you another example of this. Right. when Jose Mourinho was at Chelsea, that famous incident when Hazard was getting treatment and then, what you call it?
Eva
Carneiro.
Eva, yeah. She
Yeah.
came on. Mourinho went fucking ballistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
That's
did.
an experienced coach. You know what I mean? Arteta was being a bit nice. Like, he tried to push him, but like he couldn't really do much. Hector Bellerin fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he couldn't really do much afterwards. You want him running with a bad hammy or something?
No, I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
so. That's I think what we're trying to get at is his managerial approach. We're slowly getting to see what he's like. Not obviously, it might have played a part in the goal or not. You know what I mean? If them losing, whatever. But I think the part of is what kind of decisions has he made as a manager in his initial stint. One thing is with the Ozil omission. One thing could be the party push into the pitch. Other things that I feel like have already defined him where actually I don't think he's going in the right direction. And I think coaching wise, yes, but managerial wise, I'm not sure.
But apparently Arteta didn't want party. He wanted Husam Aouar from.
I thought it was both.
Leon?
Yeah, I thought he
yeah,
wanted
but
both,
yeah,
yeah.
no, you wanted both, but you'd prefer Husam Aouar because you need creativity
Well,
to
he
score
needs both,
goals.
mate. Xhaka is not going to
No,
any good.
no, but if you want to pick
Wolfsburg
one or
don't
the
want
other,
him. Don't know if you saw that.
yeah, but if you want to pick one or the other, it was Aouar who you wanted to eventually replace Ozil. That's what it
I
was.
disagree. I don't think like Aouar fits that profile of a player. He's not really.
No,
your
but that's what Arteta wanted.
magical key to unlock defenses.
No, he isn't, but that's what Arteta wanted. That's what I'm saying. He didn't get the play which he wanted.
But-
He got Partey instead, which was like, yeah, he's a great player.
But welcome to
But-
the world, Arteta. Do you know what I mean? You're
You know
not going to
what I
get
mean?
everybody.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think he should learn that, especially going to Arsenal. He's a player himself there. He probably heard Wenger, going off the roof with half the signings that he wanted to make. Do you know what I mean? The signings he made initially, for when Arsenal were, doing as well as they were completely different to how when he got to his prime and what the types of players that they were signing at the time or what Wenger was getting out of them. So he
Speaking
should
of
know
Wenger, though.
some experience.
Put some credit on Wenger's name.
No, speaking of Wenger, what do you guys make of the rumours that they might be bringing him back? I would actually love to have him back in the Premier League. I miss that French accent.
I just
analysing
love
games
the
on
long
Match of
coat.
Day, man.
I just
Yeah.
love the long coat, man. I just want to see that.
I don't think it
long
would be
coat again.
a good move, but part of me does miss.
Imagine North London derby Wenger versus Mourinho. Fucking hell.
Oh, my
Yeah.
days. Now I really want him
As
back.
if Wenger hadn't had enough beatdowns from Mourinho, he wants one more.
Specialist in failure.
I mean, I would like it in this, the Premier League soap opera. It would be a nice chapter. It would be a nice story. But I think from a footballing standpoint, that ship has sailed. Like and I think Wenger had kind of outlined him for himself by taking that FIFA role rather than taking another managerial role, because he's been out of a managerial job for a while now. If he
Yeah.
Three
if he was
years?
keen on management,
3 years, not that
Yeah.
long.
if he was keen on management, he would have secured something by now. His reputation is high enough that a team would have wanted him.
and
he could have said,
I
"Yes,
don't
I'll
think he
be
does
there."
want to come back, but I don't think it'll
Yeah.
be too late for him to come back. He doesn't strike me as the type of manager that would come outdated,
Yeah, I mean, I did want to touch on a different aspect of the game,
Mhm.
and we kind of alluded to it at the very beginning when we talked about the tactical approaches. Now, it's not just about the North London derby. I just want to get your takes on tactics in general. When you see a team coming with just the intention of parking the bus, being difficult to beat, frustrate you, and just catch you on the counter, as the opposing side, what is the best thing for you to do? Do you just keep attacking and trying to find breakdowns, or is there maybe an element of the game where you're like, okay, I'll give them a little bit of possession, see what they can do, and try and draw them out?
Is this where how Arsenal had the most amount of crosses in any league match ever?
Yeah.
Basically, they had an onslaught of crosses. Nothing worked.
40 odd crosses.
Was it 47?
I mean,
The most
ridiculous.
ever. And I mean, Tottenham did very well in defending all of them, but I don't know
There
if
was
Arsenal.
shit crosses. That's why you
Well,
see what Bellerin was
be
like.
honest,
But this is the thing. Do you think they do that many crossing in
training?
in training to
Look,
even be
they don't have.
effective?
They don't have. I don't know why they're doing that, because they don't have Giroud. They have Aubameyang, a totally different striker,
Yeah.
and
that-
Lacazette, two
and they
different
don't even
players.
have like a plan B big striker off the bench either.
no, they
it's
don't.
It's a difficult question. Like, I think if we all knew the answer, we'd be paid a lot better.
So you're telling
But-
me that when I'm playing Football Manager and I win the league and all those little achievements pop up from Steam at the end of the
No,
season,
Josh,
so that's
So basically-
those are hard-earned titles, man.
Yeah,
You should,
So basically,
you
you want me
You
to
deserve
tell you,
those.
you
Put
want
that
me
on
to
your
tell you how
CV,
to
man.
win your FM games, yeah? So basically, I think if it's working for your team, I think that's what he should have carried on. And especially with against the big teams, how he's played previously, he should have just done Mourinho ball against Mourinho and see how it went. The worst that could have happened would have been a stalemate, a 0-0, and that would have been a respectable way for him to build upon that and get his players to where they are. He's still got a lot of young players that he's trying to nurture into the first team. They're not Premier League first team players.
You keep saying that, but I'm telling you, I really highly doubt Arteta wants to play football that way. He's trying to and failing, like building an identity at the club, and he wants to be, you know, I don't want to say copy Guardiola, but emulate him. He clearly wants to go for that possession style football. So him playing Mourinho ball, probably he's not what he wants.
Well, of all the things that we've been discussing about Arteta so far, my biggest worry for him is the very Moisean obsession he's got with crossing. When he was talking about how it's all maths and the more crosses he puts in, they'll get a success rate out of that. Arteta, I respect and rate you as a manager so far because I'm impressed. But when you started talking about that, I'm getting Moyes Man United flashbacks.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's good for anyone.
No, it's not. It's not. And
It's not good for you as a Dowd.
No, but look, Ali, you're a Liverpool fan. That's probably one of the most crossing teams I've seen in the Premier League. You guys just spam crosses.
Yeah.
left and
You
right.
guys don't have a target man. So how does it work in Liverpool where it doesn't work
Yeah,
for Arsenal?
We have quality
That's a good
fullbacks. Arsenal.
No. The quality fullbacks. The quality fullbacks put the crosses in. But how do you get the end product?
No.
Because you guys have got 3 up front. Yeah, they're not tall. They're not renowned for their heading, but they always get something out
You
of
don't
it.
need to be told. If you watch the game on Sunday, it was with Wolves. It wasn't a cross, but Henderson whipped the ball in, and Cody made a mistake, so I capitalised.
But
It's
see,
all about capitalising on
My
opportunities
point,
sometimes as
my
well.
point wasn't even about the target man in the box. My point was about the
How did
numbers
Liverpool
game.
get those?
The numbers game
Yeah.
that Arteta talks about. If you look
It's
at
not true.
every time I watch a Liverpool game, without a shadow of a doubt, like there is at least 20 crosses per game coming in left and right from Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. What is it that makes the difference between? Is it just the quality fullbacks? He's saying. Is it just
The
the
quality
fact?
No,
of the
not
delivery.
just the quality
Do you mean, like,
fullbacks.
they
have to have,
There's
like,
training
top
done
one
on the pitch.
Out of 20 of them, 10 of them are very effective,
I think-
and then that hopefully increases your chances statistically. But we don't want to think of it like that. Whereas 47 of those crosses, I think only 2 of them had any chance of hitting the target. One was the Lacazette one, which was even, to be honest with you, wasn't even much of a chance for how far he was outside of the 6-yard box. It wasn't a chance.
No, but what I'm trying to trying to say, I guess, and Paulie, is that has the style of play that Arteta's talked about been ridiculed, and it's been exacerbated because he tried that against the perfect team to counter it in Tottenham. It'll be interesting to see when Liverpool come up against Tottenham.
Well, he
how
mentioned the
that
crossing
will-
thing.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to come in
um,
soon.
Yeah,
He mentioned the crossing thing the game before it was against Wolves.
No,
so
I
it was a bit
understand.
different.
I understand. But Wolves again is a team that sits back.
Yeah.
So my point is, what if that ends up working down the line and he ends up being vindicated? You never know, because a lot of the top teams, even look at Real Madrid when they were winning the Champions League back to back, their style of play was somewhat similar: crosses.
True,
That's true.
But the amount of crosses that they got, the sheer amount they got was purely because Tottenham invited it.
Well, actually, I've had an interesting thought on that. Have Liverpool and Tottenham played each other yet?
No, not yet.
No, they can play
now,
soon.
Now
I
that's
think
going to
it's
be
next
very
game.
interesting because we're talking about that Liverpool seem to have this difference where their crosses work, whereas other teams, it just seems like something to kind of make memes out of. When Liverpool play Tottenham, I would love to see Tottenham set up in the exact same way as the North London derby, and I'm going to look out for the distinctions between the Liverpool crossing and the Liverpool movement in attacking. I think that's going to be quite an interesting
And by the way,
thing to look out for.
I think I don't want to talk about the Liverpool Wolves game too much, but that game, I watched it, and it just told me one thing, man. Liverpool's winning the league. They have so many injuries, and they still look unfaulted. They don't look like they're phased by it at all. What is this mentality that Klopp has put in this team, man? Honestly, I thought we'd see them have some
Capitulate.
capitulate a bit, have some funny results. But every time I check the score, Liverpool won. Like they managed to weather that storm so well. I don't understand.
but I think
they're a
in-
class above everyone.
In Wolves, they came across a side who've just lost their star striker and they're trying to reconfigure things.
Still
so
4-0.
it's-
They made it look so
yeah.
casual.
with their injuries.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they did.
Going back to Arsenal,
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
right? So, how did you feel with the actual team which Arteta set up with? Was it a good team? Could you have done something
Do you
different?
mean the lineup?
Yeah, the starting 11 basically.
Well, after watching his performance, I would say maybe substituting Bellerin out for a Cedric might have.
Yeah,
might have-
Cedric did
yeah.
well in Europa League games, so why not
Yeah.
put him in? He's positionally better.
I don't actually hate Bellerin, and I think he's copping a lot of flack for obviously playing so badly. But I think also you've got to keep faith with your players sometimes. That's what I think managers do. They're like, if you perform badly a couple of times, it's not the end of the career for you. I'm going to show my faith in you.
Yeah, see what happened with Klopp and Karius?
Yeah, but I think we're taking away that the point that Tottenham played really well and the finishes were amazing. Son's finish. Did you see
Beautiful.
Hoiberg's reaction? It was hilarious. Like even he was shocked how good of a finish it was. And it from what I understood is I've seen Son players. He's very comfortable at this moment in time playing with Kane, and to pick a goal out like that, it's like playing Sunday League. It's like, playing against players that are division below you. He's coolly slotted it into the top corner, and the way that Kane smashed the ball, that's a seasoned striker. He knows nobody can save that.
Now
He just needs to hit the underside of the bar. No keeper in this world can save that.
Was Pepe injured for that game?
he's
he's
suspended
suspended.
from the.
All right, because I was gonna say.
Man likes a headbutt like a woman.
Do you remember?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Willian was tragic. Like, I don't understand.
He didn't
how
have a
he stopped
bad game. It just wasn't great.
Nah,
That's it.
I really don't like Willian, to be honest. I think.
What's your beef with Willian?
I just think he's an absolutely the amount of times it takes him, like the amount of chances he needs to do something. He's very.
I don't think he's great, but I just
he's
want to know
very
your beef.
inefficient, is what I'm trying to say. It
Okay.
took me a while to find the word, but he's a very
He's
inefficient
been
winger.
trying to get past the player as a
Like,
winger.
it just takes ages to do anything. Half the time he just turns back, or he dies on the ball, or he puts in absolutely crap delivery for a winger.
Shall I tell you who's put some decent deliveries in? Kieran Tierney.
Oh yeah, he's been
He's
really good at
quality,
signing
though.
for them.
Yeah, he's a good one. Remember when Arsenal fans thought he was the best left back in the league, though?
Forgot about Andy Robertson. You ever Scott?
They forgot about Jamal Lewis, man.
I mean, so you talk about in the end that it's a victory for Mourinho. We'll see in developing weeks how it goes for Arsenal and Tottenham. And when you're mentioning the fantastic goals of Son and Kane there, Dowd, I want to talk about how fantastic goals can often be followed by fantastic celebrations. So, just a little bit of a light-hearted segment next. Can you guys tell me some of the more memorable goal celebrations you've seen and that you've enjoyed over the years?
Right, I have three in three different categories. The most iconic one, the most arrogant one, and the craziest one. So the most iconic one is Alan Shearer just putting his hand up going, way!
Yeah.
Right, everyone remembers that.
And also,
He's
if
done that a
you're
few times,
if you're
hasn't he?
born and raised in Newcastle and you're a Geordie, there's not a single time in your life where you haven't volleyed a chewing gum and shouted "Shearer" as you
Yeah,
lifted
yeah,
your hands up.
yeah.
That's it, man.
That's
you
the
know,
one.
that's the first thing came to my mind. The second one was in 2016. It was a Madrid derby. Ronaldo scored 2 amazing goals. He just posing for the cameras like an arrogant twat he is. But he kind of does it. It was class.
Wait, was that the Kalmar celebration or was that a different one?
No, he just.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah,
Do you know what I'm on about? It was in
what you're on about.
2016.
He just stares at the camera
Yeah,
down,
and he just
he's like,
paused.
what do you expect? You know what I mean? Like, just absolute
Like,
arrogance, absolute
you know
bravado.
what I'm on about
Yeah,
now?
I know
Is that,
which one, yeah.
right, and the third one was in 2012. It was a Merseyside derby. To lead up, David Moyes said, "Oh yeah, Luis Suarez is a diver." This and that. Luis Suarez scores a goal, goes to David Moyes, dives in front of him. It was fucking
Yeah.
class.
They're fantastic. I mean, I love a good celebration with a story like when Phil Bosley and Rooney were boxing in the kitchen and that video got leaked.
Yeah.
And then he scored a goal a few matches later and he did the punches in the air and fell down. To be honest, I rate
That
the
was
way Rooney
class.
fell. The way Rooney fell, he didn't even break stride.
No, he didn't. He went full on for it,
Yeah.
didn't he? Yeah, I would say that's pretty
Yeah.
much up there. But for me, it's I don't know if you guys remember. It's a bit of a while ago. It was Hull City versus Man City. It was a 1-1 score. Where Jimmy Bullard does the celebration that Phil Brown, the manager at the time, do you remember everybody sitting down and Jimmy
Yeah, 'cause they
Bullard
were
is
like
telling
four-
everybody,
Yeah.
wagging his finger at everybody
Because they were like
around
4-0
the circle.
down or 5-0 down at half time.
Yeah,
And I remember that being so viral at the time because you've never seen a manager save the embarrassing team talk onto the pitch
Onto
rather
the
than in
pitch.
the dressing room.
yeah. I rate him for that, I actually rate him for that.
Yeah.
I know it kind of puts your players at shame. Like a lot of managers want to protect the players,
Yeah.
but I rate him. Sometimes you just need to like kick everybody's ass and say, look, this is your fault. Like everybody's outside, and I just love that their reaction was that,
Yeah.
and I think it was perfect. I know they're a small club and everything, but I just love those type of moments.
Yeah.
I don't know more about you, Q.
Well, for me, goal celebrations are tied too deeply to the goals that preceded them. So, my favourite celebration is when Tiote scored the fourth against Arsenal to make it 4-4.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
that was
That
bananas.
was-
That went nuts.
First of all, R.I.P. Tiote, man. Like,
Yeah.
what a player, man. What a guy. But when he sunk that volley in and ran across the pitch and all the players gathered and then the Steve Harper elbow where who does he land on again? I actually can't remember.
To be honest, it could have been Leon Best, it could
Yeah,
have
I
been
think it was
Tiote, it could
Leon
have been
Best.
Danny Simpson, it could have been
He's
anyone.
just class.
It was bedlam.
It was just one of the probably my
That's an
favourite.
iconic Premier League
my
game,
favourite
man.
moment from the Pardew era, and even though we finished fifth under him and the rest of it was let's not talk about, but that was probably my favourite moment of
Yeah,
that.
I
Just
mean,
an absolutely unreal
The
goal.
Tiote celebration, because I was in the stadium, it's going to resonate with me for the rest of my life. I don't think I've ever been a part of a better atmosphere, not just in a football stadium context, in any life context. That was the most hyped I've ever felt about anything. And the fact that we didn't go on to win that game is still a travesty to me. I still remember Nolan's shot skidding just past the post.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was thinking, we could have got that. But yeah, I mean, that one's
Those
very
are the
memorable.
moments that make you actually
Yeah.
fall in love with
Another
football
one
so
for
much.
me as well is again like the goals that precede the celebration like resonate with me. So yeah, there's funny celebrations in the past, the Jimmy Bolland one, but they're not my favorite because like the context matters. And you mentioned the Ronaldo in the Clasico. My other one was the Messi celebration when he takes off his shirt and
iconic,
just lifts it
man.
up to the fans.
Like people can remember that for years.
He'd also he took a battering in that game because I'm pretty sure he got elbowed and his lip was bleeding at one point.
Yeah.
And he looked so badass when he was doing that. I mean, one thing that Messi's always been, he's not been the cool guy. I think that's probably the most badass he's ever looked on a football
definitely.
pitch.
And I urge everyone to go back and watch the Ray Hudson commentary for that goal if you want a bit of comic relief.
Oh my god, man!
Absolutely,
That guy.
best commentator of all time, man. Hands down.
I mean, it would be the one Jody public figure would have to be absolute nuts, wouldn't he, in a commentary position?
In La Liga as well. What the
I
heck?
did want to talk about the consequences of a goal celebration very quickly. Does everyone remember the Robbie Fowler sniffing the line?
I remember that
yeah.
one. All right.
Oh.
I mean,
It was
imagine
against Chelsea. If you don't remember,
No, I don't
he
remember.
did that in this day and age, man. I mean, obviously it was still a headline news at the time, but
he was just sniffing the grass. Just seeing if it was all right. That's all.
good groundsman Robbie Fowler.
I'll tell you another-
part-time footballer, full-time groundsman.
I'll tell you another iconic Liverpool one. It was Liverpool versus Man United. Gerrard goes, kisses the camera. Was like, yeah,
Well,
did it twice.
But speaking of celebrations that ended up landing the player in hot water, do you remember Bentner when he celebrates and he shows his boxes with the was it Bet3 Paddy Power?
One of the gambling.
Yeah, one of the
yeah.
gambling. Yeah, I think it was Paddy Power.
We do not condone gambling, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he got
Hilarious
fined
moment as well.
£80,000, and it's always been used as a frame of reference for when fines for racism are much less than that,
Yeah.
and it kind of highlights the hypocrisy
Wow,
of the UEFA.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Another one, just to go back to the celebrations, another consequence of a celebration happened about 2 years ago. Now, I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Hamburg striker Nikolai Müller.
No, I don't think.
Now, he scored a nice goal to, I think it was like a winner towards the end of the game. What he decided to do was, I'm going to run towards the corner. And usually players, have their arms held out in an airplane type of stance. He decided, I'm going to do the airplane and the helicopter at the same time. So, if you imagine the Angel of the North statue rotating on an axis, that was Nikolai Müller. He ended up going like this, round and round. What he ended up doing was falling over the sideboard, tearing his ACL, being out for the season.
For fuck's sake!
And Hamburg, without their star striker, got relegated. So,
wow.
is that the most consequential goal celebration of all time? I'll be struggling to find one. that beats
I've
that.
not anything.
The second-hand embarrassment I'm feeling. I haven't even
Yeah.
seen this one. That's
That's crazy. I'm gonna check this after
Yeah,
that.
Nikolai Müller celebrating, tearing his ACL, and
Just kinda
screwing
make it
his
up,
team in
innit?
the process.
But which one's yours? I don't think you mentioned which
Yeah.
one's your favourite. Was it your
Favourite?
one as well?
No. Ali stole my thunder, kind of, because how could it not be the Shearer? Yes,
Yeah.
it's boring. Yes, it's simplistic, but it's the man who represents Newcastle. It's the player that we, every Newcastle fan idolizes growing up. Just doing it again and again. I think 206 times in the black and white shirt. It's just that to me is the favourite.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a favourite,
The most
like,
memed one. Sorry, after you.
sorry, a favourite that isn't tied to an emotional connection to a player. You know what? I miss a good chest slide celebration. Where's all the players on a muddy
Robin did
surface
that and
just
he
sliding?
failed really badly.
Robin,
Yeah.
are you talking about a knee slide though? 'Cause
Yeah, the
his
knee
was a
slide.
I'm talking about the chest slide. But yeah, they're different, aren't they?
I don't know what the heck
No,
a
but
chest like. Oh, when you just go
you,
like
you
fall on your
literally
chest.
just,
Yeah,
you fling yourself towards the ground, man.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. No, sorry, you were going to say that.
So the most memed one for me is Why Always Me, Mario
Balotelli.
Balotelli.
Oh yeah, classic.
That was a
got
classic
a
one.
couple
The
as
Euro one's class as well. When he
Yeah.
just like takes us up like
Yeah.
I'm Balotelli.
Yeah, he's
so
flexing.
badass.
And then Ronaldo comes in and just makes him look like...
Oh, there's so many class celebrations. Special mention to Richie and his absolute hatred towards corner flags as well.
Oh yeah. When
No, what are you talking about? Tim Cahill, man. This
he
guy's
used to punch
still...
them.
This,
Mate,
the
that's not
guy's
even-
still boxing with them,
Yeah,
man.
he boxes
till
in
this
like
day.
a casual way, like a a
Well-
dad play fighting with his son. But Richie comes in there like the abusive alcoholic dad, man. It just
Well,
absolutely leathers the
There's a
corner
brilliant
flag.
video on Twitter or YouTube, wherever you search for it, where Richie kicks the corner flag directly into a Newcastle fan's
Oh,
balls.
yeah,
yeah.
I seen that. It's crazy.
Oh, hilarious,
And
man.
it's because it's fan recorded, and the guy who's recording is laughing so hysterically. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, one of the best clips. out there,
Contagious laughter video.
Uh,
It's brilliant. I would definitely recommend it.
One of the other iconic ones, this was way before we were born, is Roger Muller, the little dance he does in
Yeah.
the World Cup.
Oh yeah,
That's an
yeah.
iconic one as
You
well.
know what? Shout out to Roger Miller and shout out to all the African teams in international tournaments. I absolutely love those choreographed dance celebrations that they do. Like, everyone remembers the Shabalala goal for the
Yeah.
commentary, for the goal itself.
Yes.
But also the little routine they did with the dancing and the steering. That was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's very
You can
infectious.
do that in FIFA actually,
Ferdinand did one in the 2002 World Cup, which just didn't go well. I tell everyone to check that
Well,
out.
I don't know
Where
if
he did something with his hands.
Well, it's like
this was
Peter Crouch with the
I
robot.
think it was last month or 2 months ago when Everton scored a goal, and then a bunch of their players went to the corner, and it was like James, Mina,
Oh man,
and they were doing the celebrations.
Cringing already.
And obviously, we're talking
Oh.
about African teams in terms of their flair and the style of dancing. Coleman went over and just didn't know what to do. Like, he looked like the most awkward kid. Has everyone seen the gif of all the kids who walk up to the camera and start dabbing, and then the white kid at the end just does this? Like, he just
Yeah.
kind of squares his arms together. I felt like Coleman was like in the most awkward situation for
man.
himself. He just didn't know what to do.
The worst celebration I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say Jesse Lingard's J-Lings. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. Like,
I find it hilarious when he does it at the Emirates. So
yeah,
he
I
does
don't
do
know.
the Emirates
I
his
don't
own
know,
stadium.
even though he's a player of United, I don't like it.
Isn't he alumni of Dab University though, man? How can you?
Oh, he opened
I
a
believe
Dab
he's
University.
the-
Is he doing a Trump with a Trump University?
I believe he founded the school.
Oh, whatever. Alumni founder, it's all embarrassing.
Ah.
But you know, also special mention to Gutierrez's Spider-Man mask as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about that before as well.
I mean, the Premier League got killjoys because they didn't allow him to wear it too often. I think he had to actually don it just in the
I
Championship.
think Peter Parker officially complained. That's what.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, the most iconic Gutierrez celebration was when he scored in the final
Oh
day.
yes.
The
Yeah,
story of beating
I was going to
cancer,
mention that one with the 281.
dodging Carver, who's the worst manager of all time.
He's assistant manager of Scotland. You know, he's gonna make it to the Euros.
No wonder they're so successful.
What the heck?
But is he the best? He's definitely probably the best manager in Scotland, isn't he?
I mean, Neil Lennon is what are you on about?
Steven Gerrard, mate. Well, like, are you kidding me? Like,
Put some respect on
Like-
Neil Lennon's name.
All I'm saying is,
Like,
I know you guys
y-
saw him in a restaurant, and he's probably still, lurking around the northeast. If he wants to come on the podcast, I wouldn't mind.
Which
Getting him
player
as a
is this?
guest.
Who did we see in
Oh,
Russia?
Carver.
Carver, man.
Oh yeah. What was the restaurant again?
Was it
Lizette.
No,
Dabawal, I think.
Oh, Dabawal. Oh, yeah.
Which,
guy
by the
likes a
way,
chicken onions and a beer, I guess.
Yeah.
very underwhelming experience. We're not a restaurant podcast by any stretch, but I didn't really enjoy my
I
time.
disagree. I think it's on Grey Street. If anyone's up in the tune, after we're no longer tier 3, if you fancy some nice Indian street food,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that they're paying us for
To be
this
honest,
promotion, but
I would love
It's
to
alright.
just go to any restaurant now. I just miss the idea of a Friday night going with your mates to a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheeky doner kebab after this.
Yeah, and Nando's takeout is not the same as Nando's.
Nah, it isn't. I was thinking
Nah.
about that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's not, man.
just drive down to a tier 2 area, man. There's no rules.
True,
That's it.
true.
I'm
Just
going
very
tier
quickly,
2.
actually, mentioning about tier 2 areas. We saw over the weekend, fans were back, 2,000 of them at least, and
Yeah, it
a
was
lot of
great to
debate
see.
about creating unfair advantages. Where do you guys land on that?
It does give a unfair advantage. Dodonka from Wolves did say it felt like it was more than 2,000 at Anfield. So I don't know if that's Anfield the atmosphere or he just felt like that because Wolves are just that crap.
Don't gas yourself too much there, man.
No, I'm not.
I'm
I'm not saying that, but like majority of the home teams did win though. If you actually
that's
look,
true.
but that's obviously the tier 2
yeah.
thing. Except West Ham, obviously
It
they
is
got
true though,
slapped by
because it
Man United.
coincided with the fans being in the stadium and their teams winning. Liverpool did it, Chelsea did it, and
Well,
Tottenham
West
yeah.
Ham didn't
Yeah.
do it.
I'd like to see
Yeah,
the data
but-
behind it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
definitely.
West
yeah,
Ham
maybe it
won
was
that
just
great.
a case of favourites.
I did
against
also
inferior
love
opposition.
the numerous different fans back in different stadiums all shouting, like chanting at the away end that was empty. Your support is fucking shit. That was
Yeah. Never underestimate
Oh, that's
the
class.
creative banter of British support. Always brilliant.
honestly top tier.
The best one for me is when Voldemort, sorry, Shelby was called Voldemort. Remember, it was Harry Potter. He's coming for you. I actually wanted to say Voldemort. I just said the wrong word first. You remember?
Guys, if you haven't watched Harry Potter, go watch it.
I
Yeah.
was just trying to remember when he played for the Toon.
Well, the
The
football
Dark
is
Lord
definitely a
will
soul-sucking
reappear.
experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
Mourinho's dark arts is taking a whole new level, man.
What the heck, man?
nah, this was a lot of fun, lads. And as always, Dawud, please wrap up with the promotions.
Yes, so I've been saying that our website's still a bit down with technical reasons, and unfortunately it is at the moment. I'm hoping that it'll be on soon enough. We've got a lot of articles in the Holden Bay just to be released, hopefully. So apart from that, it's the dressing room on the YouTube channel is the dressing room. Instagram is the TD Room 9. And we've got TD Room 9 for Twitter, and we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. So yeah, thank you.
Brilliant, lads. It's been a lot of fun.
Cheers, thank you.
Take care.